Bueller.
Listen, gentlemen. Tonight is. I don't want to make this a somber show. I mean, I guess in a way we should, because we really need to celebrate the life of not only the Bears matriarch but the NFL's matriarch. And listen, I know I've been at fault for saying, things against the McCaskies, not particularly Virginia, although, I did question some things, but we're not going to get into that right now. Tonight our show is dedicated to Mrs. Virginia McCaskey. And gentlemen, before we proceed, I would like to just take a moment of silence for the loss of a legend. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's like I didn't quite know how to approach this show tonight. I know there's a lot of different emotions going on in the world right now from all Bears fans, from all different sides of the entire globe. Some feel adulation because we feel like, oh, we're finally going to sell the team. I've heard a lot of that, seen a lot of that. Oh, so what's like, come on, man. Can we just get through this? Because this is not easy for anyone. It's not easy for the Halas McCaskey family. It's not easy for the players on the team. It's not easy for everyone that works for that team. And so tonight we're going to celebrate her life, and we're going to all tell our best stories about when we met Virginia McCaskey, right, guys? Because we all met her, right?
Well, I do know that Foster has a lot of direct experiences with Miss Virginia from a long time ago.
Yeah. She met her before. You met her when she was what, 2? When you're hanging out with George?
Go this route this early?
In a good way. You met her in a good way. You were like hanging out with George.
You know what? Here, so no matter what we say or how we criticize or make fun of it, that's all just what it is. It's all in fun of it. She was a person who had people that loved and cared about her, just like the rest of us. We all got our good points and bad points. I don't really know what her bad points are. There's talk this and that, but that is what it is. It's hearsay stuff, and she was important to this league because she's been around for most of it, man. I mean, it runs in the family blood. So, you know what? Hopefully these people can take the fond memories, because that in the end, that's all we become, is a few memories for a few people. When we leave this earth, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You take those and you cherish that stuff, because that's all you got. That's all we get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, she had a long, good life, man. I'm sure it was a pretty good life.
102 years, right?
Yeah. But I'm sure she had a good life. So she's fortunate. She was blessed that she got to see the Bears win at least one Super Bowl. It's too bad. I understand that. My father waited his whole life to see the Cubs win a World Series, and he lived 82 years and never saw it. So take the positives with the negatives, man. I mean, just look what's going on, though. So maybe she can help the Bears get over this hump that we've been dealing with, say, 60 years. If you go back to 63 and before and look at the difference from that point in time, 63 prior and 63 past. Look at the night and day. So, may she rest in peace. Amen.
Carl?
A lot of people saying, very fitting, that Virginia's last football memory was the Chicago Bears knocking off the Packers in Lambeau Field via a last-second field goal. So if you feel that way, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't get to see a Super Bowl win, right? A second Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
She, just took over the team, and now they win a Super Bowl after 2 years, right? She took it over in '83 when George passed away, and we win the Super Bowl 2 years later, although that was because of what George and Muggs had built.
Yeah.
But
foundation for that team, man.
Yeah, but she loved this team.
Yep.
more than any one of us could even imagine. Take all of your love for every one of you in this chat, which we will get to in a second. Foster, take all of your love. Carl, all of your love. PJ, wherever you are, all of your love. All of my love. Combine it all into a ball. And it would be a ball this big compared to her ball of love for the Bears, which is infinite. And there is no lack for trying. She, no matter, what you want to say about the team on the field and the lack of production and the lack of competence and all that shit, that this, the owner of the Bears, Virginia McCaskey, loved the team with all of her heart, and she tried her best to give us all of our wishes to match her own. And it just never happened. And I should say a second time for her, for a team that her and her, children had built. So we came really close in 26, man. I saw somebody on X, showing the opening kickoff of Devin Hasser going, soon we're all going to forget about the rest of this game just watching this clip. And it's like, yeah, you're right. We are. Like, all we care about in that Super Bowl is that fucking opening kickoff. And we lost that game.
I remember Musa Muhammad getting a touchdown too. Like it was 14-7. Like we were in that thing.
We were in that game, man.
Yep.
Chris Harris intercepting a ball. It was just the monsoon. Yeah, you would have thought that Peyton Manning would have. Peyton Manning never won the big game in college. He struggled in the big games against, Tom Brady, and I just thought, well, there's no way he's totally going to crumble in this Super Bowl, right? And then the monsoon hits. We're like, well, now he's going to totally crumble. And it was really just, listen, my point is that she got to take that team and see that team go to another Super Bowl and not win it. And I heard Jared Payton on the 670 score this morning, this afternoon, talking about how Jarrett had asked her about, like, when do we get back to the Super Bowl and win again? This is after Jarrett had just became part of the Chicago media, a beloved son of Walter Payton, like he's our own son, and he's interviewing her for the first time as a journalist, working for the Chicago sports scene, and talks to her about, what it would mean to win a Super Bowl. And she starts crying. And Jared was like about in tears too, if not in tears. And it just, it meant a lot to her. It's not for lack of trying. It didn't work out how anyone thought it would, including herself. And really, I just want to take this time to apologize for anything I might have said negatively about the family. I know that this is a hard time for them. They're going to be everyone, the fans included, but also the players, the everyone that works for the Bears. This is a solemn time, and I just want personally everyone to know that we are there with you and we stand beside you, and we can still move on from this, and hopefully she will get to watch. Hopefully her spirit will help to make this team better, because she got to see a Packers win in Lambeau for her last game. She got to see Ben Johnson. Rex Ryan is calling him the next Bill Walsh, for crying out loud. So if he is that good of a head coach, at least she got to see, that hire before the end of her long and, happy life on this earth, man, because we could all wish for 102 years old, right? That'd be amazing.
She definitely had a full life, right?
Yeah.
Really quick, here, Shorty, real quick. Anybody can equate this to it or relate this little side end to it. It's like It's like everybody, anybody who's had a favorite pet. Imagine if that pet died every December.
Right.
With the Bears. I'm just, you gotta just,
yeah.
since she was what, 2-3 years old, she's been involved in this organization one way or another because of her father and until she died. So that's, the only way you get a long relationship with anything is when it's yourself, because that's the longest relationship you're ever going to have is with you. And she had almost that with the Bears, literally. So that's, rest in peace, Virginia. You've earned it.
Guys, I want to get to the chat really quick before we continue.
Absolutely.
By the way, before we do that, we are expecting some guests tonight from the 4-Star Chicago podcast, Dustin and Brandon. If you guys have not seen them, I hope they're going to join us. He hasn't responded to my email yet, but I hope that they join us tonight. But if they do not, please go check them out. The link is in the description here for the channel. 4 Stars Chicago Sports, kind of a subsidiary of Brandon Hyatt and Chicago Sports Podcast. So hopefully we see those guys soon. And let's get to chat right now. Patty Lara.
Tony Moy.
Love you, Patty. Thanks for joining us. Adam Mason.
The man who needs no introduction, right? Congratulations, Adam. You hit 10,000 subscribers. Yeah. Liked your comment in response to Cliff. You said you're just getting started.
10,000 subscribers for Adam Mason?
Yeah. I remember being a guest on this show after Adam Mason, like the following week, right? And I said I was nervous because of how good of a guest Adam Mason was. And I think he was at 3, 4, maybe even 5,000 subs.
Yeah.
But no more than that.
Dude,
it's been a meteoric rise for Adam.
It's just over a year ago. I remember him with like 46 subs. That's how early I caught his shit, literally.
Do you know what they call that nowadays, Foster? That's called a hype beast.
Yeah. Rolling.
Or a hipster? Maybe it's hipster. I can't remember my terminology.
He's got quality content. He's decent on the he's not an asshole to anybody.
He's admittedly an asshole on Twitter about other shit, and he's right.
That's Twitter.
But hey, me too.
Yeah, fuck you for that too, Carl. But no,
you saw that?
The Mondo Lara Jr.'s here.
Listen, all congratulations to you, Adam, man. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
If our guests do not show up tonight and you'd like to hop in with us, please let me know. I'll send you a link. J2K, what's up, my man?
J2K.
The rebrander of the century.
The YouTube rebrander.
Chad Speaker, our member. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, members down at the bottom. You guys need no introduction. Thank you guys so very, very much.
I believe it's super chat by Chad Speaker too, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut off PJ.
Chad Speaker, $2 donation to BCP. Thank you.
No super chats?
How do I do that?
Weird. I don't know where that's coming from, man. I don't know. I say that because Dan's looking around after he hears, like, wait, what? Okay.
Did I say that?
Yeah, Carl, I don't know what's going on. So Chad Speaker wrote this $2 super chat says this is
we'll give your
super chats.
We'll give your super chat to right to the Bears, buddy, for Virginia. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cliff Victoria. Love you, Cliff. The best damn seafood boil I've ever had in my life. Can't wait for the next one.
Cliff, I told my girlfriend because I think it was last week, you said that Home Run Inn pizza is the best frozen pizza, and I absolutely strongly agree to that. And my girlfriend said no.
1,000% the best frozen pizza ever.
Carl, I snag them when they have them on sale at Jewel. I always get like 4 of them, man. You ever use the U?
Man, we're gonna need a Jewel Osco sponsorship or a Home Run Inn sponsorship. Hashtag not an ad.
Hey, let's try to get Home Run Inn as a sponsor.
That's what he said, man.
Yeah.
I would like a Ghost Energy sponsorship, but I digress. Again, hashtag not an ad.
Speaking of sponsor, this is my friend. This is his crawler from his business, Gremlin Growlers, and this is it's called Blue Jacket Fantastic. It's a 7% ABV New England IPA. And I'm adding this to my glass of the first one I bought as my ode tonight to Virginia. I'm having a drink on her. So I would like to, by the way, if he ever gets his ass in gear, he will actually become our real sponsor, and then you can buy his coffee online from us because he's got the best fucking coffee I've ever had in my life.
Send me some.
Out of my Bears glass, here is my cheers to Virginia McCaskey and a long, happy, wonderful life, and helping to continue the build of a legacy. Here's to you, Virginia. So back to chat. Vernon Roseman, thank you for joining us, my friend. It's always good to see you. Armando Lara, you are the man. I love that you set your notifications for the show. You set a timer, I should say, in case you missed the notification. And as always, we love seeing you. I love seeing you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the Sports Zone Chicago podcast. If you guys are awake at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and you're working from home and have nothing better to do, put on the Sports Zone Chicago podcast. Please come hang out with us and chat along with Armando and Patty and I. And that's great stuff. Show. It's great stuff, man. It is. I would love to be able to do a morning show on this channel. And that's what that is. It's, it's better than the radio. So
absolutely.
Who else is in here? Tony Moy, thank you for joining us tonight. J2K, I know I already mentioned you, but you deserve 2 mentions. Robert Real. Atmos. I love that name, by the way, Atmos. It's freaking brilliant.
Atmos is my freaking favorite, man. It's Atmos and Prometheus.
You know who
on my channel, they've got the notifications set. They are real ones.
You know who my favorite is? Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, 69, by the way, good number, has been here as long as Cliff Victoria. And we need to have like a chatter of the month where we give away some kind of free shit that I make on my new 3D printer that my wife got me for Christmas / birthday.
Looking into the YouTube analytics, I do think that there is a way to track the most engaged member of the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not the most long-standing member. That would be difficult to find.
But what's the point of this? It's to give away something that you've made on the 3D printer, so it'd be a monthly thing.
True.
But then you wouldn't. You could have like chat bots that are reoccurring, and they start harvesting your gifts. So you'd have to say, okay, once you've won it, you've got like a 12-month cooldown period. But then maybe people wouldn't get engaged in the chat. So I don't know. We're talking about our business out in the open.
That's why I like this guy, except not for the open shit. So
members only.
So
Shorty, do we have some members only content coming? I can't remember. I can't remember.
Thank you very much. I was about to get into that. So, listen, for those of you that are members or want to become members, listen, I first started.
Adam. Sorry, I had to say that. You see his comment, right? Why is 69 a good number?
I elected the non-verbal route, Foster, but thank you.
Come on. You don't know why, Adam? Do I have to explain it to you? What are we in high school?
Well, Adam has virgin ears, so let's keep it that way.
Yeah. To answer your question, though, Carl, yes. So I first started doing the members section because I'm too humble to go, hey, well, well, I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. I did the members only section, which they make you offer like perks to your members, and I didn't have any extra perks to offer other than you're just helping to support the monthly fees of keeping BCP going and keeping it quality and the production that you see in the background, even our thumbnail. All of our thumbnails for the shows, things like that just make it look nice, that attract your eye to it. The things like this, StreamYard, that gives us the ability to share this platform so streamlessly. Yeah, it's not cheap. So I just thought, okay, we'll make a members page and you can help support us. And then I thought, well, I do need to really give some quantity to that, right, Carl? So we're working on that, and it started last night. And we're going to do more of this where we're going to provide you, if you want to become a member, some stuff that's not live that we talk about in the background when we have meetings, and the behind the scenes content of BCP. And I think, we're all about having fun here. And sometimes you don't want to have, like, you get people coming in here that are all pissed off because we're like not talking about the Bears. We're talking about food for 10 minutes, or we're talking about this or that, and we're having a good time and laughing our asses off. But all the other people just want to hear Bears shit. Well, if you want to laugh and have a good time with us, that might be something that, we need to not make totally streamed to the masses because it will turn them off. But for you guys that would like to become members of the channel, that's something that we are legitimately working on to provide you for the kind of hilarious content that you're used to seeing and want to see more of. And so stay tuned for that.
You made a comment about kind of the aesthetically pleasing visuals of the screen, but I would just attest that to Foster. So if you want to pay for Foster in a roundabout ways, be a member. I mean, that is a good use of your money, in my opinion.
I really wish you would not have shaved half of your vagina earlier today. We saw you yesterday, and you had the whole vagina going yesterday.
Matter of fact, if you're going to make those donations, I need psychiatric help from dealing with this guy for the last 3 years.
BCP is not affiliated with any doctoral.
That's right. Part of the problem.
I'm telling you, Carl, when he shaved the whole thing, when he got started last year, because we made a thing. I'm like, okay, we talked about this. Okay, let's shave our faces, and we're going to go full on playoff beard. We're not going to shave until we make the playoffs. And I forgot about it because I'm an asshole. And this fucking guy did it. He stuck to it. He shaved his face all the way down to a bald vagina. And we made fun of it the entire. I should say I made fun of the entire show of you on that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I think I was a part of this. I vaguely remember this, but like I'm sure I blocked it out because I was scared.
But by Christmas, you were like Santa Claus, bro.
Yeah.
And I gotta applaud you for
4.5 months, dude.
I gotta applaud you for sticking to it, bro. Let's do that again. We'll stick to
let's do that again.
This year.
We were supposed to do it this last year, and I started, and then I said I didn't even tell him, man. I
That's
just
what I'm saying. So this year, let's do it. I'll stick to it with you. I'll shave myself down to a bald vagina,
Carl, till I see it.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again?
I won't believe it till I see it.
See what?
See him do this.
Yeah, are you willing to shave yourself down to a bald vagina, Carl?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My girlfriend would love that.
Right down to a bald vagina to start the playoff beard?
I don't care.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, a playoff beard. Then I can't shave it?
You can't shave until we make the playoffs.
No, I'm not doing that.
Well, that means including the next year when we miss the playoffs. After
I have to go out in public once a week.
It's not a mustache, although those are coming back.
Actually, didn't I end up cutting it off on air like after the Super Bowl?
I believe you did. Yes,
you did something where like you started with hair and then came back without hair. It was weird.
That was when Carl Carl just got started with this around that time.
Yeah. Look at the Nodge trying to be a funny guy. He says Carl always looks like a vagina, and he's got the big Penix Energy
and he spells
profile picture because he's a fan of the Washington Huskies, right? Nodge, I've got to tell you something. The Michigan Wolverines of 2023 are national champions, buddy. Thanks to your Huskies. Thank you.
All right, enough of that. I want to point out
years ago already. It doesn't matter anymore, Carl.
Let's talk about how he spelled vagina.
Yeah, now I got to live with Ohio State being the national champion.
Nodge, vagina is 2 A's, not an I.
Vagina.
It's a V-A-G-I-N-A.
Foster's just like,
nothing would be
just look at my vagina. You can see. I got half a vagina going here right now.
In the morning.
In the evening. And at supper time.
Nothing would be finer than the...
We got some new chatters, guys. The Nodge, by the way.
We also have
the Nodge is an old new chatter.
Yes, but he's new into tonight, by the way.
A new old chatter.
AC Adam, what's up, AC? My man. Anyone that would in chat, anyone that wants to give your best memory, of your encounters with Virginia McCaskey, we would love to hear them. It would be a part of the homage to Virginia McCaskey.
Or just like, I was thinking like happy moments for the Chicago Bears, which again, we've explained that this is the Bears are Virginia McCaskey's life. So.
Yeah. Naj says, I'm a legend. Just ask my wife.
I love the Naj.
Adam says, you couldn't pay me enough to shave. I've got a fat face. I tell you what, Adam, just start fasting. It works every time. Just don't eat. Well, eat once a day. You can't have good food out there in Las Vegas, dude.
Let me tell you.
Actually, you have really good food in Vegas. Never mind.
Yeah, but that's not very easy to start off with. So.
No, it's not. But here's my thing. Whenever I get back to fasting like I did today, I think to myself at lunchtime, I'm like, am I really hungry or do I just have a taste for something? And I'm like, yeah, I'm really not hungry. I'm just not going to eat. I'll eat dinner, which I haven't even eaten dinner yet. So even better. Tomorrow, I'll be like, well, I fasted for 20. Well, after the show, I'm hoping to have a couple of tacos, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, eating's one of my favorite habits.
This is why we need a membership for your professional weight loss
opinions.
Tips.
Yeah, on fasting. Yeah, the Naj says seafood is dope here in Florida. I'm going there on Saturday. We inherited my mother-in-law's house, so we have a second house there. It's paid off, so it's just like a vacation property, but we have to maintain it. We're going back there Saturday.
I was waiting for this one, Dan. I knew Adam was going to say something. Adam Mason.
Yeah, you're right.
Never any good food in Las Vegas.
As I was saying it, I'm like, shut up, Dan. Shut up, Dan. You're right. There is never any good food. Fucking amazing food in Vegas. That was a dumb statement. I apologize. King Pookie Nation?
Yeah, King Pookie.
All the stars are out
I'm in
today.
Sarasota, Nudge.
He's been out there doing his reels there, King Pookie. I've seen him. And Paulie's in
Oh.
Bears.
Boo! Throw tomatoes at Bearski, everyone.
Poo on you, Bears.
Boo.
But while we're at it, let's just talk about Muggs Halas. No, I'm just kidding.
What about
I'm glad you said that, not me.
I'm saving it for that. We'll bring that back up in another couple of weeks.
What about our guest?
Yeah.
Our guest, yes, we have Brandon. Brandon, which is, I'm sorry, Brandon, I'm an asshole.
It's okay.
He's like falling asleep back there.
Tell it right to Brandon's face.
So Brandon is half of the 4-Star Chicago Sports Podcast with Dustin. And here's how I love you guys. I get done with this show. I sit here for a half an hour waiting for this shit to download so I can put it into audio stream. And I watch you guys. And you guys are right in line with our thoughts. And I love your production. So I really wanted to have you on the show. I'm hoping Dustin will join us shortly.
Yeah, he'll be in a few.
But Brandon, the other half of 4-Star Chicago Sports Podcast, please welcome him to the show. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing good. How about you guys? It's an honor to be here, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
I am very glad
we see you here. You probably don't remember, but I caught you guys were on with Tracks.
Yeah, we work with Tracks a lot. Yes,
because a lot of times I'll listen to stuff and I don't say anything, and I actually caught that when he first started out. So you guys were on there fairly early, and I've probably seen, I don't know, I've seen some stuff on and off, so I haven't watched enough because I don't have the time that I'd like to have. But I get to catch stuff here and there, so I take advantage of it when I can, and I definitely recommend these guys your channel, man.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
To summarize, he likes you, but he doesn't watch you enough.
Yeah, right. That's it.
Brand,
Dustin. I love you when I don't have to look at you.
That's right. There you go, man. It's hard enough looking at myself in the freaking mirror.
The other half of 4-Star Chicago
there
Sports.
He is.
Listen, I love what
What
you
up?
guys have got going on over there, Dustin, Brandon. And I applaud you all guys to check them out and subscribe. You guys you're right in line with us, like I said. And it's good to have, more of us to voice our opinions and talk about Bears because, as you can see, like nobody can get enough of it. The Bears are the biggest attraction in the entire globe for all things football. So I wish you guys well. It's great to have you guys on. Dustin, just introducing Brandon. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm awesome, man. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me on here. I appreciate it. I just put my daughter to bed. So I'm feeling good, man. Listen, we come from 4-Star Chicago Sports. Shout out to Brandon Trax Hyatt, too, a Chicago Sports podcast. Put us on to start. So, this community is awesome, man. And I love your show, too, man. You guys are fucking hilarious. And, you just try to be your own.
Thank you.
What's that?
That's the biggest compliment. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys are great. And, just being your authentic selves, that's what we try to do too. And help this community grow. This community is awesome and strong and everybody supports each other. So it's cool to be a part of it. And we appreciate y'all asking us to join you tonight.
We appreciate you agreeing to hang out with us idiots because, like I said, we really are about having fun first. And sometimes it gets out of hand. And
it's the best time.
It's actually worked in our favor. So
yeah, for sure.
Anything you want to take
How
from
important is it, man?
Yeah.
Life's short. You better enjoy what you got because you never freaking know, dude.
I'm going to give you a couple pieces of advice too. Don't burn yourselves out. Okay. We do this once a week for the last 3 years. It can get kind of burning. So just make sure that you keep shit straight in your life and enjoy what you're doing first and foremost, and everything else will come after that.
Amen.
Sage words.
We actually talked about this subject when I was in your chat one night about the whole mugs thing. And you're like, holy shit, I don't want to get into that. But as you guys are now coming on, we've already voiced our opinions about, Virginia and her passing and gave our respects to, had a moment of silence for. Like, what are your guys' opinions, just thoughts, I should say, on, this kind of transitioning of the guard moment? I'll let you go first, Brandon.
Yeah, you're saddened to see it. I'm not going to call it a tragedy. The woman was 102 years old. She'd known nothing but Bears her whole life. And I actually was listening to the radio earlier today, and Dave Wanstead was telling a story about her being in a room full of all the GMs, including, Kraft and Jerry Jones and those guys. And he said she was the only person in the room that just straight stuck to herself. She didn't get emotional. She never got too high after a win, never got too low after a loss. And I think he basically said that most of the other owners in sports really had a lot of respect for her, which when you're a fan for a losing team, you can lose sight of things like those,
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's sad, when anyone passes. She lived. I hope I live to be 102. Damn, that's a hell of a life, especially to live it, owning the Bears. Shorty's like, no, I don't want to go that
far. No, thank you.
In her case, yes. In her condition, yes, maybe. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just started working out. Like, I'm going to stick with it, and hopefully, I can carry some good health into later stages of my life. If I can get even close to that, I'll be happy, man. And she lived a good life, and she experienced a lot of awesome things. So, you want to celebrate her life. And I don't know. The changing of the guard aspect of it is what's most intriguing to me, Shorty, what you're talking about in terms of, is there a potential to change some things here? Because, not to sugarcoat anything, like, the Bears have not been run well for a majority of my life. And
Wait, so how old are you? How old are you guys?
38 years old, man.
Oh, you guys are babies. Brandon, how old are you?
36.
Don't worry, Dan's a punk too. He's only 50.
You couldn't be my kids.
Foster's what, 27?
3,099 in April.
He turns, yeah. In 1
Isn't that
year,
the
he'll be
Bears losing
4,000.
Immortal. He's immortal.
These guys know I was there. I helped found the Bears, dude. I was down in Decatur drinking one night, and George came up, and that, the rest. That's the end of the story, bud.
All right, so you got some insight then to what we're talking about here.
Listen,
man, I'm excited. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that George is ever gonna sell. The McCaskies are gonna sell, but like, you wonder if that's a possibility, and you wonder if that could be good for the Bears in terms of going forward and how they approach football, But I mean, it sucks that she's gone, but at the same time, she lived a great life, man. So I guess the future we'll find out what's gonna happen, but I don't know.
seriously, though, guys, I want to tell you guys this, because I don't. You guys probably don't know it. My family, this is like 4 generations. We've literally been following the Bears and the Cubs since like 1923. I can literally track it. So it's.
Well, I'm sorry.
Like when I was talking about, yeah, no, you're not kidding. When I was talking about Virginia, I said, this was like her dog or her kid that she lived with her whole life, grew up and, just lived with. Something like that. She was fortunate. She was blessed, man. She had a good long life. I know she had decent health most of it too. I don't know about the last 4 or 5 years, because not much was said, but I saw her for decades. For decades, I saw that woman around the field, behind the scenes and camera shots and stuff. So,
So it's the last thing this organization needed was another loss. Oh, too soon.
Too soon?
Right. Too soon.
Yeah.
Wait till she's on the Chris. Sorry about that.
Why'd you guys invite Brandon onto the show?
I didn't realize he was an asshole, Dustin. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Brandon, here's what we do to that shit. Get the fuck out of here, Brandon. That's how we roll. Brandon can fuck off with comments like that.
I gotta pull myself next before I speak.
I have sat up here and pounded the table for more insight into the Muggs conspiracy and all that shit, but you can't deny the fact that this woman loved this team. She all she ever wanted was to see them win again, and at the very least, kind of like we were saying, is like at least she got to see them beat the Packers in Lambeau Field for the final game on a kick that was not blocked this time. So, I personally wish well on the McCaskey Halas family. I hope you guys are all recovering from this. I know it's difficult, but it was a long and happy life, and more than anyone could ever hope for. 102 years old is. And to what you were saying, it's like my grandfather lived to like 86, blind and missing 2 legs, and it's like with a brain tumor where he was just like stuck in his own head. Like, I don't want to be that. My grandma's going through some shit right now. She's only like 87. I don't want to go through that shit. So like, if I can live to be 102, I would hope that it's as well as she lived to be 102. You can't ask for better than that. So there's a lot more worse off 90, 85-year-olds than her when she passed away today. So kudos to the genes, kudos to a long, healthy, happy life that she had. And now that we have brought you guys on to finally consummate our thoughts on that, I appreciate you guys for your respect and everything else, because she does deserve it from all of us as fans, no matter what we think about this team. She was owning it, but not like calling the shots, right, per se. So as much as she could have, or couldn't have, it only goes so far with her, right? Even though she plays with Jared Payton and stuff when they were back in 25 years ago. Go ahead.
Like you were saying, Shorty, like it's not like she wanted this team to suck. It's not like she was trying for that to happen. You know, sometimes you hire the wrong people and things don't go the way you want them to go. I'm sure she died happy. I didn't even think about that she saw the Bears beat the Packers for the last Bears game that she witnessed. I mean, that's a great thing. And I really didn't think, you're talking about another thing I didn't really think about. Like, she's been the matriarch of this family for so long. Like, the amount of grieving that probably comes with that. I mean, that sucks to think about, you know, but hopefully they can, again, rest comfortable knowing that, you know, she lived a great life. She owned the greatest franchise in football. And, you know, she got to reap the benefits of that, you know, and hopefully they can carry on her legacy and get some winning seasons out of this football team in her memory going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman also mothered 11 children. I mean, the owning the Bears was only one of her accomplishments, man. I mean, she has 40 plus grandkids now. The legacy will live on. Yeah.
That does make me question, like, 40 plus grandchildren, and not one single one of them is like, hey, I want to run this shit. Like, can you give it to me, please?
I've literally thought the same thing when I was reading about her today and how much family she had, and I was like, my God, how did this end up in George's hands? It's got to be a better one, right? She could eeny, miny, moe, 11 kids, and she'd probably do better than the one she chose.
Yeah, we all shat on Mike McCaskey, and, you know, rest in peace as well. And then George took it over. We thought, oh, well, this is going to be a new beginning, right? And then it's just like, I'm a fan. I don't know. I don't want to shit on them right now. I don't mean to do that.
I was wondering what this was going to be, Shorty. Given I've watched you guys' shows, like, obviously, and I like your stuff, but like, you do have a lot to say about them. I've heard you say a lot about the McCaskey family. Like, you even mentioned the stuff you put in our chat. And it's like, I was wondering how the tone of what this was going to be when we got on here, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's all respect. So it's much love and respect. That's it.
Yeah. Families in our prayers for sure, man. I mean,
yeah, no doubt.
You still hope, even if you don't feel all that positive about what George has done in the past, you got to hope for success in the future, because that's all we can do.
And it's not blamed on Virginia whatsoever. No. She has been nothing but class as the matriarch of not only the Bears, but the NFL. The NFL lost. Everyone in the NFL is mourning this loss. It's not just, you know, the Bears or us as fans, or I should say the Bears family, the McCaskies and the Halases, and then the Bears players, and then us as fans. It you know, it goes deeper than that. It is an NFL wide thing. And I love how she, you know, for lack of better words, picked this time to do this right before the fucking Super Bowl. Fuck you, Super Bowl. We're more important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Super Bowl nobody wanted. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Shorty. I mean, this woman's been in the sport for so long. I can't imagine how many personal relationships she's developed. And like I said, as far as other owners have said, she's kind of the OG.
Yeah, she is, for real. And I love this. Thank you, Carl. This is a statement from the Packers, saying the Packers are saddened by the passing of Virginia Halas McCaskey, the loving matriarch of the Chicago Bears, who carried on the incomparable legacy of her father, George Halas. Virginia led the Bears with dignity and class for decades, guiding their organization's humanitarian efforts, well said, and adding numerous chapters to the storied Bears-Packers rivalry her father started. Yeah, not great ones, but yeah. The Packers send their deepest condolences to the McCaskey and Halas families, the Chicago Bears, and their fans. That's classy of the Packers, and thank you for, not that you're going to hear me say this, but thank you to the Packers organization for, I was wondering if they were going to make a statement, and they did, and I was actually happy to see that. So classy of them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it shows you that it's bigger than football. Like the rivalry is there and it's strong, but this it's life, it's emotion,
Mm-hmm.
it's another human being, and that you there's no other way to handle that but that. But yeah, it's always bigger than football. We come on here and this is an important thing to us, our Bears being successful, and it brings joy to our Sundays, or it brings despair to our Sundays, but at the end of the day, those are Those are human beings making these decisions that sometimes piss us off and sometimes make us happy, you know.
Hey, we all make bad decisions.
100%.
It's not. If everyone was judging us for every fucking decision we made, how ridiculous would that be? Oh, that's from Robert Kraft, huh? I thought that was from the Packers. Sorry. Oh, this is
a completely separate one, and you don't have to read it. I'm just flashing up stuff on the screen. I mean, like, this is an NFL felt thing.
Yeah, it's just, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also strange. It's like anytime I feel like I'm talking about George McCaskey, I find myself with nothing but negative things to say. But I thought today to myself, what that guy is going through right now. And, you know, honestly, Bears fans, all of us, I think I can speak for us. Our hearts are out to him for sure.
And we last year we started a GoFundMe for an English Bears fan his name is Chris Watts, and we raised enough money to bring him out here for not only one but two Bears games, and we were tailgating in the Waldron lot, which is where George hangs out all the time. And Foster, you were there,
Yep.
And we got to meet George twice. And I'm going to tell you, you are right, Brandon. Like George is. There is no reason not to like him. He's a really nice guy. He gave us our time. He talked to us for 5 minutes, each time.
He stood there for 25 minutes. He was making jokes about the chick that was asking for a refund. We were having a blast. He's actually a funny, personable, kind guy. I mean, I was just amazed because we were just sitting there talking like the four of us right now, standing in a parking lot, just bullshit.
Totally. Foster, remember I said to him, I go, it was Tyson Bagent's first start. Yeah. And I said, if Tyson Bagent plays well, trade Justin Fields and start Tyson Bagent. And he's like walking away and he goes, I hope that happens.
That's exactly it, too.
We're like, what? Are you kidding me? That was weird. That was really weird, actually.
Do you remember the chick? She goes, Bears are doing so bad, I want a refund. And he made like a super smart ass comment, but it was brilliant. I can't remember what it was, but it was hilarious.
Something
I would have said if I could have come up with it.
Remembered it, yeah.
Always feels good to stick it to a Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Karen. You know what, though? It's Vernon mentioned this too. She passes in a time of great transition in Chicago. She transitions in a time of great transition in Chicago Bears history, I think, just by all the hirings they're doing and everything that's going on. And we retained Ian Cunningham, and we're looking at every damn player under the sun. There's so many rumors going on. So
yeah, I made a joke earlier with a friend, but it is kind of, I mean, if you wrap your head around it, it kind of plays out. It's like she was able to find peace after the Bears got themselves a franchise quarterback. She's like, I can hang it up now. They finally did something the right way.
Yeah, and more. I mean, possibly McShanahan Bay coach type of guy. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping he's got all caliber. I mean, worst case of this hiring is we've got the best offensive coordinator probably in the NFL, or at least the top 5. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Worst case. Transition to that. Perfect, Foster. Yes.
He's one of the most innovative offensive minds in the NFL. And I'm not saying that as a Bears fan, he was in Detroit.
Yeah, yep. Rex Ryan thinks he's the next Bill Walsh. Thank you. My God.
Well, that's high praise. That's high praise.
Yeah, that's
but it's a company to be in.
It's not just him, guys. It's everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you're hearing everyone say this. Like,
oh, it's all over.
Yeah, I've heard just about everybody say the Bears finally made the right decision.
Yeah,
fans saying this is a home run for the Bears. I mean, we don't know for sure, but it looks pretty damn good from what I've seen of Ben Johnson over the last 2 seasons directly. I mean, I've been following him because I've really been back into fantasy the last couple seasons. So it's like that offense. If we could get something, half the notion of what they're doing in Detroit and score 20, 25 points 25 points every game or more, they're going to win a lot of games, man. They're going to win a lot of games if he can build this offense around Caleb the way he said. I'm not bringing a playbook in here. We're going to take his skills and I'm going to make a playbook around him. I mean, that's the way to win anywhere, I think, today. You got to do that.
That's what you want to hear. That's what you
want
to hear.
Yeah. You can't take and plug guys into – it's like putting a square peg in a round hole, man.
And we've seen a
That
lot
was
of
Nagy. Nagy did a lot of that.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that in the
too
past.
much.
Yeah, and it's not just Ben Johnson, guys. It's this entire staff that he's put together.
Right,
It's a great coaching staff.
It's amazing. It's
And
amazing.
I compared it
Just
to
write the
the
names
draft.
down on a piece of paper and show them to somebody. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. No, I compared it to the drafting of Caleb Williams. It was the decision the Bears should have made, right? Everybody thought this is what you should do. I mean, when they drafted Caleb, everybody wanted Caleb Williams. Everybody wanted that first pick because of Caleb Williams. And then the Bears had conviction. They had Vrabel and Ben Johnson on their list. This is the first time in a long time, guys, the Bears did something over the offseason where I'm not like, what the hell? It made sense.
Brandon, like,
And I've been saying that for decades, like last century, because
Like,
it's been forever, man. It's been forever. You guys don't know this. I mean, like PJ was sitting here. We lived through, and I talk about it every once in a while. I'm sorry, Dan. We lived through.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick.
1 and
I'm drinking
13,
beer tonight.
and the next year is 3-11, and then we go 4-10, and then we go 3-11 again. We lived through that kind of crap for decades, and we had great talent. Butkus, Sayers, Wally Chambers. I can't even think of the names, but we had some talent, but never could put it all together once Halas left the coaching ranks until Ditka's the only. Ditka and what's his? Sorry,
Lovie Smith.
Ditka and Lovie are the two small time frames in the last 60 years, and I'm going back to 1963 that the Bears have been successful. You can look it up. You can go look at everything that we've done from 1964 till today. It's mostly not good, and I was there for a lot of it, so it's mostly not good, man.
Yeah, it sucks to be one of the oldest franchises in the sport and have one of the worst playoff records existing in the NFL today. That hurts, man. And the city is such a draw. You know what I mean? It's such a draw. Like players in every sport, no matter how bad these franchises, these organizations get, the Bulls, the Bears, the Sox, the Cubs, people want to play in Chicago. They have the ability with the market they have in the city we're in to draw good talent here, and we still fall flat on our face.
Yeah.
And it does feel different, Foster. It feels like we have a little bit of an identity, right? We drafted our quarterback and we hired our offensive mind, and it seems like we're trying to catch up to the rest of the NFL.
Yeah, and I think they might. I think they might. I mean, the Bears making these moves the way that they've made them it's very encouraging. I mean, to put the amount of experience that they've put around Ben Johnson, a first-time head coach, who we have a lot of, anticipation for, because, like you said, Brandon, he's one of the top 2 candidates that was available in this coaching hiring cycle. So it's like, and then you take Dennis Allen and you put him as the defensive coordinator, and then you get the defensive line coach, and you get the offensive line coach, and you get all this experience around him, and then you got a good mixture of young guys too with a lot of energy. It's exciting for sure. But like I keep thinking about how much praise we had for the coaching hires this past offseason, and I get a little nervous as a Bears fan. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
So it's tough. You're always like expecting the worst. So you try to get away from that, but it's hard.
We've been conditioned into it. They've conditioned us to expect the worst because it's a never-ending problem. What you were talking about, like the people they brought in here, I'm just amazed that we are actually able to do it. I honestly am amazed. And then retaining Ian Cunningham again. We got him for another year at least. I don't know what the contract details were, but I mean,
Foster,
if I may interject on Ian Cunningham, I know that he was professionally or publicly, requested for an interview for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
So I still think he's in the running for that position.
Yeah, that just came out yesterday. Thanks. It just came out yesterday that they requested another interview with him. I mean, I haven't seen anything on it since, but if he were to go, I mean, that's what I was about to ask you, Foster. Would you rather see him stay as Poles' right-hand man, or would you rather get 2 third-round picks back for him in compensation if he were to be hired by the Jaguars?
I'd hold him I wouldn't mind having him another year. I look at his history and what he's done, even with Philadelphia and the little short time he's been here, and I just see him as an asset. We can get those draft picks next year and the year after. Because
Sure.
if he does end up staying this year, I don't see him making it another year without getting a big contract. And I mean, here, let me ask you this. There's two things too with Ian Cunningham. It's number one is, okay, he goes to Jacksonville. He's got a big job ahead of him. He's got to do what they just did here, bring in the right coaches.
There's more dysfunction there than
There's
here.
a lot of problems in Jacksonville.
So you've got that. That could be a challenge for him. It might be something the guy want to do. But then on the other hand, it could be, this is, for me, and this is just me pretending I'm him, is I don't think this is the right time to go into that. I think I need to take a step back because I think I can get myself into a better position down the line.
There's part of you, though, that wonders, is there another opportunity that's going to come? There's a very limited amount of those opportunities, and you've got to be the kind of person that wants to take on that challenge, if you're going to get that job in the first place. You see a guy like Bobby Slowick, he was offensive coordinator for the Texans. He was everybody's gem. Everybody was talking about him being the next big thing at the head coaching position. He just got fired after a bad season in Houston, and his opportunities that he thought he had in front of him are now gone for the near future.
The Jaguars hired Shane Waldron.
That's true. I mean, here, look at. Do you remember a couple of years ago? We got the Packers coordinator, or we hired him as our coordinator. And we were worried right away that we were going to lose him the following year. You remember that?
Getsy, yeah.
Yeah, Getsy. So, I mean, it goes two ways, but I just look at with Ian Cunningham, for lack of a better term, I'm going to use the phrase proven track record, but just consistently what the guy's done, it would take something pretty major to knock him where he's been at, because he was getting interviews last year and they weren't as serious. But I think as time goes on for him, and I'm not saying either way what he's going to do, only he knows that. I agree, man. You could. That sure would be a challenge if you could turn around the Jaguars and have them win a Super Bowl in 5 years, wouldn't it? What an accomplishment for anybody. I'm just,
Yeah, for sure. But if you go the other way and the Bears have another terrible year this year and Ryan Poles gets fired and Ian Cunningham is a part of that regime, then does he have those same options in front of him? You got to walk a very fine line if you get these opportunities in front of you in the NFL, because they come and go quick.
And then you're also banking. I mean, head coaching positions are going to be available every offseason. We had 4 GMs terminated this year. That is not common. For there to be that many openings for the GM position is not typically how things go. We had the Raiders, the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Titans. Four GM positions this offseason. I don't think that's something you're going to see every year. So like Dustin said, if Cunningham believes in himself, you pull the trigger.
Either way, the Bears will be okay because of it. Either you're getting 2 third-round picks, right, or you still have your guy helping you make decisions if you're Ryan Poles. I think Ryan Poles can live with it either way.
I'm sure Ryan Poles wants him to stick around, but he'd be happy for him if he goes.
Right. It's a no lose situation for the Bears.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
Poles is who I think he is. Because I'm still a backer of Poles. Everybody's going to make mistakes and they're going to have problems with their picks and guys they trade for. I don't care who you are. Don't care who you are. You could be Bill Walsh or Bill Belichick. You're still going to have these problems because it happens.
If you're batting 350, you're doing pretty damn good. To be honest, like it's not. There's no science to it, guys.
There's no GM who's flawless, and like you said, Foster too. This is Ryan Poles' first job as a GM. He's going to make mistakes, the same as every rookie in the league will, at whatever position they play respectively.
Summarize what I missed when I was. So I had to go to the bathroom, and I had to help wrap a wound on my dog's leg after that. So what did I miss? Anything summarized?
I want to know what the hell we missed. What happened to your dog?
Is your dog okay?
She had cancer on her leg and had it removed, and then had radiation therapy to it, which made it worse. And it's just like this month-long wound right here on her front leg that won't heal correctly. It's okay. Just takes a little help bandaging that back up. Thank you, by the way, to my friend's beer company tonight for the slurs.
I actually had to stop because I heard gunshots and I wanted to make sure everything literally like right down the street, like right here. I thought I moved to a nicer neighborhood. I guess not.
Well, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Sonny.
If you have to drop for cover, just don't worry about it. Just do it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll try.
You know what's strange? I hear gunshots constantly where I live. Constantly.
That's just target
But
practice.
you never worry. I live on a horse farm. My girlfriend owns like 8 horses, but when you hear gunfire here, you don't think twice because somebody's just firing on their property. It's normal.
I live south of Atlanta, so I have the same issue. Like you hear people with acres of land by us that it's nothing unnormal,
Yeah, we hear it all day.
What we were talking about was just the potential for Ian Cunningham to end up either taking another position, or Foster was saying he feels like he's going to stick around. He was feeling pretty confident in that.
I agree.
So, I mean, but I was kind of saying it could go either way, but either way, the Bears kind of come out on top, in terms of there will be compensation if Ian Cunningham were to end up as the Jaguars GM.
Duval.
Thank God we missed the.
So weird, just so very weird. I don't understand.
That would normally have been our head coach. 5 years ago, that would have been our head coach, guys. We'd have been sitting here going, well, we have to make the best of this guy going, Duval.
Bear down.
I'm the dorkiest guy in the room. Look at me, Duval.
He is so strange, man. I actually really liked Liam Cohen as the Buccaneers offensive coordinator. The more I see of him, man, which is not a testament to anyone, the more I see this guy, the less I want anything to do with him. He's just very strange. It's like a Twilight Zone watching a press conference, man.
It feels like he should be our head coach. That's when I watch him talk, I feel like we're watching our Bears head coach. That's how it makes me feel. I feel like not like knowing that he's not actually our head coach. I actually feel remorse for their fans because it's like, dude, your first head coach failed Trevor Lawrence. Your second head coach failed Trevor. You're exactly what we thought we would be. You're exactly who we thought we were. And it's not actually us that's dealing with this head coach saying that. Like it's almost hard to believe for me sometimes.
Yeah, because it's actually like 4 head coaches because they what's his name right away.
Yeah.
So
Urban Meyer. Yeah, Meyer.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Look, I couldn't even remember the guy's name. Couldn't remember.
He's a damn good college coach.
Absolutely, totally agreed. But I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, but it's you would expect like Cohen to come out with like a pass principle or something. I kind of see what you're saying, Shorty. Like protection, acceleration.
Yeah, one of those dumb acronyms. Oh God, you're in trouble when that happens with a coach. The principle.
I think he did come out with one.
Oh, did he? I didn't.
He did. I'm going to say he did say this. He said this in a presser.
Offense, defense, and special teams. How do we want to play the game?
Oh God,
and that's fast.
This is it.
Fundamentally sound, attacking, situational masters, and tough, both mentally and physically.
That is perfect. I had no idea. I didn't.
Fast.
Shorty, you could not be more right, dude. Jesus Christ.
I literally, guys, I said, okay, so Ben Johnson was hired on a Monday, okay? Sunday night, I was laying in bed. I like to lay in bed with the lights off. My wife and I are both on our phones, just like, getting ready to unwinding, get ready to like, and I call it
watching a primitive hut building.
I call it dropping the phone on my chest when I fall asleep moment, and I was like, okay, hun. She's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, please just watch this, please. She's like, is it about the Bears? I'm like, yes, but just please watch this. She's like, all right. So I play her a video of Ben Johnson talking. I said, look, this guy is way too fucking cool to be our head coach. I play her a video of then after that was Mike McCarthy. I'm like, fucking Porky Pig. As much as I hate saying this, he is way too cool to be our head coach. They would never go for that. Then I played her a video of Todd Monken. And Todd Monken, these videos were of their press conferences during the week / after games, before games. It was just like random press conferences from these coaches that were on our hiring watch, right? And I said, look at these guys talk. Too cool, too cool, too cool. I said, look at Todd Monken. And every time somebody asked Todd Monken a question during a press conference, no matter what it was, before game, after game, pre-game, during the week, he always went like this. Somebody would ask him the question and be like, well, yeah, so I was thinking that, well, what we would do is we would blah, 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 and then blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, perfect. That's the guy for the McCaskies. He's got the nervous twitch like Mike, Eberflus. Like he always shuffled his papers and his pens around whenever they asked him a question.
Like a shitty poker player. He had a tell.
And I called him out in that moment when I saw Eberflus first, like shuffling shit around. I'm like, you're not going to last here long, right? And we should have fired him last year. Different subject for a different a previous show that already happened. But it's like, I thought this is the most dorkiest guy. He has a nervous twitch, which makes him do this every time he answers a question. It's perfect because it fits right into the McCaskey mold of he's not confident enough to be our head coach. Therefore, we can control him. And I'm like, okay, perfect. I literally had everything set up. I just didn't make the stream for the show. I was like, I'm going to do this by myself. I'm going to talk about this. Here's your new head coach, guys. Todd Monken. The biggest dork in the room with the biggest tick that's going to make the McCaskies the least uncomfortable. And boom, they actually hired Ben fucking Johnson. And I couldn't believe it. I was ready to go with Todd Monken.
I mean,
you were expecting something weird from Ben Johnson during his press conference. Like, oh, here it is. Here's the side we never saw.
And he walked in and he goes, everyone get back to work. And I was like, you had me at get back to work.
Yeah.
I
was shocked
actually
too.
mentioned
Man, that they nailed this down. I really was. And that's got the main point that I've made from the beginning since they hired Ben Johnson was that's got to give you some faith in our management and our ownership, because Ben Johnson was the poster boy for I'm not going there if your shit's not together. And Ben Johnson is a smart dude, a cool dude, like you're saying, Shorty. So like he read the room and decided that this Bears franchise has its shit together. So that was something that gave me a lot of confidence, honestly, that I did not have previously, just in them being able to actually hire this dude and get it. Because they picked Ben Johnson, but Ben Johnson had to pick them too. And that's what was the most surprising to me.
I agree.
And it only took 48 hours.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. They kneed what they were doing. So it's
Conviction.
like, yeah, they knew what they wanted and they went and got it immediately. That's a very great point, Carl.
Were you guys... Go ahead.
I thought the same thing, Shorty, when I was watching. I probably fed a little too much into this, but I was texting Dustin during Ryan Pohl's press conference after the season. I was like, every time this dude faces a tough question, he opens his water bottle and pretends to drink from it and puts it right back down, like he's buying himself thoughts. You know what I mean? It's like God, it's another tough one.
As soon as you notice the nervous tick as a fan, you know the media is going to jump on it.
Oh, yeah.
And the fans are going to feed off the media because that's what we do. Listen, we have what to look forward to in the winter in Chicago. I grew up there. I don't live there anymore, but I grew up there. I know exactly what it's like. I know exactly what it's like. And what do we have to look forward to from, September to February? Bears and ice fishing. If you like to ice fish, well, you might be pissed off that the weather doesn't make it conducive enough to keep the ice frozen, so it might piss you off. But at least you have the Bears. Oh, no, you don't. The Bears suck. And it's like...
you always wonder which week you're going to stop caring. Is it going to be week 3 this year?
We have had a couple of... Chris Watts from the UK, like I said, we started the GoFundMe. He came out for two games. This past season, he does a show with Jason from the UK, and they do a British Bears show on our channel seasonally. Look out for that. And so it was my 50th I was born on Christmas. It was my 50th birthday, and Jason from the UK and his girlfriend decided to come out for my 50th birthday and see a couple of games with us. And it just happened to be the Lions and the Seahawks games, the last 2 home games of the year, and we lost both of them. And we've made so many friends. Like Chad Speaker wants to come out for a game this year. I'm like, I have got so many links to different season ticket holders. I can get the tickets for, face value or slightly above. You're not going to pay $800 for a fucking ticket. And then I'm like, if you guys are going to do this, Chad, anyone else that wants to come out and go to a game with us, you got to do it like before November, because there's no chance that we're going to actually be in this beyond that. And that's what I've come to like recognize this as my futile Bears fandom has finally submissed me into becoming, that we are just not going to be in it until we're in it. And so it's kind of resonated all the way through to my bones to like make me not want to be so positive all the time and not want to be so hopeful. But I think that, what's up, Samo? I think that it doesn't do me any service to be negative. It has always done me a service, per this channel and everyone here hanging out with us tonight, to remain positive. And sometimes it's fucking difficult, man. Yeah. But as long as we can always try to find the best in everything about this team, it really is. This is kind of what I wanted to bring out earlier. You guys are in your 30s, man. Like, what even made you become this way? Like, how? Foster and I and Chris.
We need PJ because I got to ask the question, dude.
Yeah.
Interrogation.
How did you become a Bears fan?
How did you become a Bears fan, Brandon?
PJ, our resident co-host, he always interrogates our new guests, and you shouldn't be beyond that. So, Foster, ask the questions.
I did. I was asking Brandon. I'm like, how did you actually become a Bears fan?
I'm dying to know. Like, 2006 made me a fan when I was 3.
Well, I grew up watching nothing but basketball. Michael Jordan, all Bulls. I played basketball for 10 years. The first football game I actually watched was the 99 Super Bowl when the Rams beat the Titans. Well, was it Mason? The tight end is reaching for that final yard.
Yeah.
He can't get there.
Yeah.
And then the next season kicked off, and I didn't have any loyalty to anybody. But when I turned on the TV, the Bears were always the team that was on because that's where I live. And I thought to myself, I've rooted for the Bulls growing up. I called myself a Cubs fan, although I didn't really watch them too much. But I just stayed true to rooting for where I'm from. I like Illinois is my school when it comes to college. I just can't bring myself to root for another team in another city, no matter how bad mine get. Because anytime somebody's like, oh, I'm from Chicago, but I'm a Packers guy, I just want to punch them. So it's like I don't want to fucking be that guy.
I know, it's like I feel bad about, like, last year I predicted 13-3. And
yeah, we all fell victim last season.
First team to become to win the Super Bowl, the rookie quarterback. And by God, if Jaden Daniels didn't destroy that. So for you guys that don't know, I live in Atlanta. I bought season tickets to the Falcons as an investment. Good investment because my tickets are cheap. The food there is cheap. The venue is cheap. Everything is cheap. It's well worth going to a Falcons game. Not only did Jaden Daniels derail our Bears season, but he knocked the fucking Falcons out of the playoffs, which would have been the first time I would have actually had playoff tickets for a Falcons game that I could have sold for 3 times the money and made my money back. And then I wanted the Lions to win the Super Bowl. I literally wanted the Lions to win the Super Bowl, and they derailed them. I was like, fuck Jaden Daniels.
Shorty, you have to let me do this. You have to let me do this. This is the perfect time.
Let me finish. I put $100 down on Caleb to win Rookie of the Year. I would have won $7,000. It wasn't for that fuck. Go ahead, Carl.
So the NFL honors. Obviously, I showed you Jaden Daniels, the offensive Rookie of the Year. I will give you less than 5 seconds, however long it takes me to throw it up on the screen, for you to tell me what you think the play of the year is.
Saquon Barkley jumping
Hail
up.
Mary. The Hail
Hail
Mary.
Mary by
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I blocked that out.
We can add to that Jaden Daniels derailed Virginia McCaskey's final season on this planet.
But
with
it's
a
all,
fucking Hail Mary.
isn't it also a fact that Jane Daniels gave us our head coach?
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, Jaden Daniels. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Actually, in regards to my fandom, I want to say this too. When I did choose the Bears, when I decided this is the team I'm going to root for, I knew nothing about the history of the NFL at this time. So I had no idea how much suckage I was about to consume for the next 2 decades.
A little research would have saved you, Brandon.
Yeah, should have done some homework.
I'm very different than Brandon. I mean, when I was 4, I could name every team in the NFL by looking at their helmets. Like, I just grew up on football. I grew up in Chicago, but my grandfather, who was like my dad, he was a Niners fan. So Niners games are what I watched growing up. I mean, I remember watching them kick the Chargers' ass in the Super Bowl in '94. Steve Young got the monkey off of his back. So, I mean, I'm a Niners fan and I'm a Bears fan. The Bears I chose. So, like, I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment. I chose the Bears as I got older, like in my 10 years old, whatever, like that. Because, like Brandon said, they're the local team, and I'm from Chicago, so like that's my team. But yeah, I've been watching them my whole life, man. I grew up around everybody talking about the '85 Bears. A lot of my family all worked on the North Shore, so they would have their stories about Hampton going into the bar or whatever in Lake Forest and all those stories, in Highwood. So yeah, it's just always been in my blood, guys. I mean, I love football. I love the NFL. And it's hard. You have a love-hate relationship with the Chicago Bears because you feel like they should be doing more for their fan base in my lifetime. All I've grown up with is hearing about the '85 Bears and how great they were. I was born right after that. I didn't get to see none of that. I'm really sick of hearing that. I'd like to see some new memories made with this team. The 06 run was cool. I was at the Niners game where they beat the hell out of the Niners that year. The Seahawks game, the Monday night game that they beat them, or it was a Sunday night game. It was a night game. I can't remember if it was Monday or Sunday. But like, I got to go to a couple games the year they went to the Super Bowl with the Bears, and that was a lot of fun. That was a really fun year. But it's like, it seems like it's always punctuated by trauma.
And usually with the Packers, right? Like,
yeah.
I had just moved to Colorado from Chicagoland, and they went to the championship game against the Packers. So my wife and I found a bar in it was an hour away. It was in Colorado Springs. Shout out to them, forget their name, but I did send them a bunch of BCP business cards that we got a bunch of subscribers from. So thank you for whatever bar that is. I'm an asshole. And we were watching the game there, and all of a sudden Jay Cutler comes out in the second half and he's not playing. And we were like, what the fuck is going on right now?
The Caleb Haney game.
Yeah. And then Caleb Haney comes out. We're like, okay, I got some hope in this game. He's a second string quarterback, like we all do. And no, it just got murdered. And we left before the fourth quarter. I heard the loss on the radio, and I was just like, I can't. I literally broke down. I shut down. I stopped caring. Like, I was so excited for the Favre era to be ended, and for the Aaron Rodgers era, who I laughed at when they drafted him. I laughed at that pick because I thought he was a total bust. And then he beats us in that game and goes on. That was the only Super Bowl I never watched, guys. And I just couldn't do it.
It was a good game. Wasn't it Steelers Packers?
Wouldn't even know. Never watched it. and it just got me to like a point where I lost it all, man. Like I lost my passion for this team. And then somehow these fuckers brought me back again. And last year we talked about, I'm sure you guys did too. But fucking get rid of Flus, man. Get a new guy in here. Get an offensive guy. Maybe it all worked out because we got the guy at the right time. I hate to have wasted a season of our quarterback learning an offense only to relearn it all over again. It's like I did this on a rant show that I did. A play call is like 5 paragraphs long. And you're going to make the guy relearn that same paragraph or a totally different paragraph for the same play again next year. It's a paragraph, guys. It's not just a play call. It's like Dustin went down to the river and picked up a stone and threw the stone into the water, and then the water picked up the stone and threw it back at Dustin, and then Dustin took the stone and threw it back at a starfish, and the starfish picked it back and threw it back at Brandon. Break.
Fuck you, starfish.
I just got a great idea. If we were to do some sort of contest on this channel, it would have to involve the chat telling us the best play, NFL play, as far as that concept, right? Convoluted, long, like that. That would be a really good, fun exercise, I think. If you guys have any ideas, drop them in chat or send us an email.
Well, Shorty, you were talking about looking for the positive. You got to look for the positive. It does you no good to look at the negative. And you say it was a wasted year for Caleb, and I get where you're coming from. But we also saw that Caleb is really resilient. We saw that Caleb is really smart with the ball in bad situations. We saw that he's a smart dude. He's a professional. So that, if you look at it that way, that gives you confidence in the fact that he's going to be able to pick up this offense from Ben Johnson. And I think Ben Johnson is going to do a good job of simplifying it for Caleb, understanding exactly what you're saying, that he's going to be relearning this all from scratch. I just think that if you're looking for a positive in that, it's that he went through all the shit he went through this past season. He's still standing. He still went up to the podium after every game and said the right things, took accountability. He's a guy that I think is going to be able to pick this up pretty quickly and appreciate how much easier a guy like Ben Johnson is going to make it on him than it was last year.
Well said.
And he believes, man. He believes in himself, and he believes in the organization. And I know there's a lot of speculation about Caleb not wanting to come to Chicago, and I wouldn't have blamed him if he actually did say that, but he never did. And that Packers game that he won, the final game of the season, I mean, that's it. You're going home. You're going to watch the playoffs like everybody else on your damn couch. But the dude was so excited to win that football game. You could see just pure joy, and he has fun. He has fun playing football. Yeah, I agree, Dustin, that the adversity in my history and in my past with the Chicago, the years and the quarterbacks I've watched, when things go bad, adversity shows its face. Our quarterbacks crumble and fold. You guys remember when Rex Grossman threw his first interception in a game? You kind of thought to yourself, well, that's it. It's a wrap. He's going to throw 3 more for the rest of this fucking game. So Caleb would, you even think of games where he threw early in the season where he threw some interceptions, he just kind of moved on to the next play. He doesn't seem to be fazed by it too much. And I'm telling you, this organization threw just about everything you could at this guy.
He didn't throw a 6th interception until the final play of the season. Like, people bitching, and I don't even know how. Well, I do know how. But why this civil war began?
Oh, so strange.
It makes we have done nothing but what? Clamor for a quarterback with Caleb's abilities. He comes out his first year, and I know PJ is one of them, our co-host who's not here tonight. I speak for him by saying that he loves Justin for all good reasons. I understand why, but you can't, and I would say this to him too. You can't sit here and say that someone is better after someone has done one season as a rookie, what no other quarterback has ever done as a rookie, much less a 3-year starter. 3,541 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The final interception coming should have been 5 interceptions. That is, and the fact that there are still people out there that have any gripe or complaint about this is sad to me because I don't know how it got here. This quarterback is what we have all, myself included, I'll just say myself, has always wished for. My whole life, all I wanted was number one pick with a quarterback like this, like a quarterback like a Peyton Manning or what's his name, the Andrew Luck, like
Aaron
a quarterback
Rodgers.
like that. It's almost unmissable. Aaron Rodgers was there until he got pegged down the totem pole as the draft process went on and went 21 or 22. He was supposed to go number one until all of a sudden he had a weak arm, which was true at the time, but he totally transformed his throwing motion. That's because of coaching. And so there is not much to miss as far as what can improve with Caleb. But there is things, of course, but it's not like it's, you're hoping or wishing that he can do this or that to hit the next level. He's already done all those things to hit the next level. He's come back in games that we should have won and didn't win because of coaching and bad decisions. He's taken the leadership role well. People might call it cockiness. It's confidence is what it is. And you could say all you want about him, but going into year 2 now, this is after all the numbers he put up in his rookie fucking season. He's like number 5 all time on the Bears quarterback list. So all we need is for someone to, like a Ben Johnson, to cater that to his strengths and make him the best he can be. Yeah.
Yeah, and as regards to the whole Civil War, the thing that I just could never wrap my head around, and me and Dustin beat this up for weeks, was even if you love Justin Fields, let's say you love the kid.
I did love him. I did.
There was this group, this fan base that would root against Caleb just to say "I told you so" about Justin Fields, and it's like it doesn't matter anymore.
Where did that come from?
He's
right?
gone. If you're a Bears fan, why the fuck are you not rooting for the guy who's playing with the Bears jersey on him?
Like we always did.
Makes sense.
It was absolutely.
I was just flabbergasted that people would go out there before Caleb played a game. I had to hear about how much this guy paints his nails and his pink phones and his.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't give a damn, dude. I'm not rooting for the person. I'm rooting for the player. The fuck? It just doesn't make sense. We found Bears fans rooting against their own quarterback because of the love they had for the guy that's not here anymore. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it begs the question. If you hate the Packers so much, or the Lions, or the Vikings so much, or the Patriots so much, wouldn't it behoove you to create a channel that was supposedly for that team that shits all over it? Just to piss off the fan base, to start said civil war? I feel like that's what has actually happened, because we as Bears fans do not ultimately unite that way. We always come together in whatever fashion or form as a fan base to root for our team. And once we have decided it's not working, then we shit on it. We don't shit on it from day one. And I'm not going to call anyone's names out in here, but you know who you are. Have done that. Some of them, by the way, we've changed their minds and they've actually super chatted us, which thank you to you. But it just goes to show, like, there's something else going on that's part of the social media world that has been the reasoning behind that. It's not, in my opinion, true Bears fans, with their true opinions. It's more like a deliberate insert of
division by intention. Yeah, it's like we've been infiltrated. It feels like politics is what it feels like, man. And it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Two things can exist at the same time. You can be a Fields fan. You can still root for the guy who's wearing a Bears jersey today.
By the way, Carl has been putting up some polls. Thank you, Carl. The last one was, do you believe in Caleb Williams? And 92% said yes. So that goes along to my point.
Yes, very much.
We all have eyeballs. I know the 8% that said no, but yeah, I get it.
Hey, you know, even people I know, and this is PJ included, he's like us. He's going to root for him because he's on the Bears. And you know how PJ was about Fields. You guys probably didn't see it. We got to see it during the show and behind the scenes.
I admire
how PJ was about the field, which is fine. That's his opinion, man. He's a Bears fan. He can have his opinion, but it's not going to stop him from rooting for Caleb Williams. And a lot of people have been like, well, you know what? I was wrong, man. I would definitely, like myself included, I would much rather have Caleb after literally watching him as a Bear than wanting to keep Justin Fields.
And you're a fan of the team, not the player.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Well, the product
and that gets lost a lot too, like you said, because I know too many people that, well, I'm like, well, who do you root for? Well, I don't. They're wearing a jersey of one player, and that's their NFL dom. It's like one person. So I don't understand it, but that's the way they, handle their things. I'm like, I'm going to always root for the Bears. And I don't know if you saw it, Shorty, but Vernon wrote a thing in the chat where it was like, he said something. He goes, this is your conscience. You can bitch and complain about the Bears all you want, but you're always going to root for them because it's who you are, man. It's in our blood.
Yeah, we love to root for.
I had no choice, but Dad took a shotgun, guys, and said you're going to be a fucking Bears fan when I was like 4. So.
Oh, you had the same. Oh, I thought that was just me. Okay, I'm glad to know that was you too.
Actually, real quick, my fandom was it didn't matter because wherever I was at, and the Cubs games, there was 154 games on, and the Bears games were always on Channel 2. Every freaking Sunday they were on Channel 2 because they didn't get many Monday night games in the 70s when I was growing up as a kid. But I don't care if I was at my house, my aunt and uncles, or walking through the park in Chicago, a park district, a field house. Cubs games on the radio, same with the Bears games. So wherever I went, because I'm from the west side, but I moved to the far northwest side, and everybody on the far northwest side at that time, it was Cubs and Bears. It didn't matter. That was just because in my day, it was if you were on the north side, you rooted for the Cubs and the Bears, and if you were on the south side, you rooted for the Cardinals and the White Sox. Because they played at Comiskey Park, both of them, and the Cubs and the Bears played at Wrigley Field. So it was literally just ingrained. And again, Brandon, I'm like you, dude. I root for Illinois, and I root for Northwestern and Northern Illinois, and the Bears and the Cubs and the Sox and the Bulls and the Hawks. The Sting,
Amen,
which
Foster.
I root for the Sox
and the Cubs.
In the 70s. What?
I root for both the Sox and the Cubs. I'm with you.
Me too. Ideally, my favorite World Series would be the Cubs beat the Sox in 7 games. I'm just being honest, man.
I'm there with you, man. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it happened in 1996.
Listen, I rooted for the Sox in 2005.
Yeah, me too.
I had no reason not to. They represented our city. It's like, for me, I always root for the NFC in the Super Bowl. I want. That's why I would rather it be an NFC North team that represents us in the Super Bowl. It represents NFC North. I'm not going to shit on the Vikings. Well, fuck the Packers, or the Lions to make the Super Bowl. I would be all for that. Fuck the Pack. Fuck you, Packers. But other than the Packers, I'm always rooting for that shit. Like, represent us. And the White Sox representing Chicago is no. I don't give a fuck enough about football to give a fuck enough who represents our city. Other than I do have a kindness in my heart for the Cubs. I really don't like the Sox, to be honest, but I will root for them. I will root the fuck out of them to win the World Series if they're on the watch, right? On the clock, I should say.
What the amazing thing is there's people all over the world that feel just like us, and they're not even from Chicago.
Oh, everyone always asks me, are you so where are you from? Chicago. So you a Cubs fan or a Sox fan?
Yeah.
I say, I'm a Bears fan. It's always my answer.
Yeah. Fuck the Sox. I'm not with it. No, thank you. I'm not.
Alex is my name-o says Virginia's last words were fuck Green Bay.
I was just reading that right before you pulled it up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing? She's like laying there. She's like, George,
come closer.
Come closer. George, fuck Green Bay.
Tell
George, make sure the Bears win the Super Bowl. Put this team together and fuck Green Bay. And
George,
and everyone in the room's like, "Fuck! I wish I would have recorded that."
George, put "fuck Green Bay" on my headstone.
Oh, that would be killer if you saw FGB on her headstone, man. The whole epitaph, and at the bottom in real small letters it says FGB. They don't deserve the press anyway. You want to keep it small.
Yeah, fine print.
Yep.
Atmos says Foster's saying what, and then puts on his glasses.
Got the Caruso going. It's the CSI Caruso.
I got to tell you, you guys, YouTube, Brandon and Dustin, what really draws me into your show, and again, anyone that doesn't subscribe to them, please do. Chicago 4-star sports.
Chicago sports.
Yeah, is what draws me into you guys is your incredible way of just passing the mic to each other and knowing whose turn it is to talk, and you bring up chat just like we do, and like, you guys do a great job. And I want to just thank you and applaud you for being such excellent guests tonight and doing the same on our channel, because you could easily just be like, but it's you never know what you're getting with a new guest and whether or not they're going to take over, talk too much and talk over. And you guys are doing a fantastic job tonight. We really appreciate you guys coming on. You guys are awesome, and we would love to have you back on again. Just saying that. And Cliff Victoria is saying, hit the like, guys. Please do so.
Oh, yeah. Hit that like button. Thanks, Shorty, man. Those are very kind words. Appreciate it coming from you. We ain't been doing
what,
this.
No super chats? Super chats?
I also want to say it was impressive because you were down to nothing in your beer, and then all of a sudden you were completely full the last time you lifted it up. So well done, very impressive.
I'm drinking the Virginia tonight.
Yeah, all right.
No, it's been a pleasure, Shorty, for real. We appreciate. We're excited when you reached out to us for sure. Foster, pleasure working with you. Yeah, man, and we're a guest on your show, but it took a while too, Dan. I mean, we had to kind of hash that out off behind the scenes, hey,
yeah, for sure.
Somebody's talking over somebody all the time. We got to stop doing.
Of course,
it.
When you're new to it, it's difficult. You have to learn it. It becomes a something that you learn and get better at. And you guys have, in your experience, just being with CSP, as you clearly can see that you guys have picked up. I love your background too, by the way, Brandon. It's awesome shit. Is that a flag?
Yeah. Oh no, it's a blanket. It's actually a blanket.
Even better. Yeah. Awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Nice.
We got a statement here from the Lions saying, statement from Sheila Hamp, the Ford family, and the Detroit Lions. Virginia McCaskey was a trailblazer as a female leader within the NFL. We will always remember her passion, grace, and unwavering support for the game of football. Her presence will be greatly missed in our rivalry with the Bears. Our thoughts are with the McCaskey / Halas family during this difficult time. So thank you. From us at BCP, we thank you guys at the Detroit Lions, all the NFC North rivals, all the NFL rivals. It's been an outpouring for this family. So it really is respectful of everyone. And I was hoping to see that, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and Chris Foster says rivalry ? I mean, I remember a time where the Lions were a guaranteed win. No matter how good or bad the Bears were, you were going to beat the fucking Lions every time you played them.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky loved playing the Lions.
Yeah, it's not as these things ebb and flow, and then they go up and down and back and forth. So it's a rivalry for sure, and to the extent that you gotta beat them to win your division. That matters.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this because they weren't there. Is the Packers used to be a cakewalk, and the big team that we always had a problem beating, that always kicked our ass, was the Minnesota Vikings for 20 seasons. So we've experienced this not just with Green Bay, but with the Vikings. I mean, and I kid you not, you can go back and look at late 60s all the way to 78, man. Even a little after that, because Minnesota always seemed to they always had a good quarterback, whether it was Fran Tarkenton or Tommy Kramer. There's another guy in there I can't remember.
Cunningham.
But they were always deciding a thorn in the division. It was. See, a lot of these Green Bay Packers fans have been spoiled because they had Favre and Rodgers. I don't know what they're going to do now because Love is neither one of those guys. Even this year's statistics, Caleb Williams had a better season than Love did statistically. Look it up. More touchdowns, less interceptions, higher passer rating. So
it's still pretty decent. If you're looking at it as a Bears fan, you go from Favre to Rodgers to Love. Like, Love is still better than most of the quarterbacks the Bears have had in my lifetime.
At least the last 30 if you take out Cutler.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, for him to come in just year one last year and throw for more yards and touchdowns and less interceptions than we've ever had in our entire fucking history pissed me off. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but that's because the Packers did what every team used to do in the NFL. You draft a guy and you groom him for 3 seasons, maybe 4 or 5 even, and then he plays. Nobody does it anymore because you've got to have him out there making money immediately. So it's harder on the quarterback. I mean, the Packers, they did the right thing. He sat there and learned how to play the freaking game from some of the greats. I mean, great coaching. I got to give them credit for their coaching, and then playing behind Rodgers and just seeing what the guy does. So
you're kind of seeing a trend though, to where just you brought it up, so I just want to touch on it. Like these rookie quarterbacks are coming in and having a lot more success early on. They're playing a lot more in college. The transfer portal and NIL is keeping them in college longer, so like they're coming in more prepared. So that's going to play a big factor where you might not see that ever again. These quarterbacks sitting for years until they get their opportunity because they're coming in more ready than they've ever been.
That's true, but it just won't happen because there's too much money and revenue involved.
Yeah, you got to win, but you got your quarterback on a rookie contract because
10 years ago,
money elsewhere. Yeah,
absolutely.
10 years ago, you would have.
How many quarterbacks can jump out and do that, and then how many quarterbacks that potentially could be very good or great quarterbacks just get messed up? Ryan Leaf was on. I think he was on CHGO. I saw it earlier today where he was talking about. Yeah, I know exactly how that happens because that happened to me. I came into the league, had one coach, 3 different offensive coordinators, and a third coach by the time I was in my second season, and it just messed him up. I know it's 20-something years ago, but it still can happen. I mean, I really don't think that the last couple quarterbacks going back to Stroud. I don't think that's going to be the norm. It's going to be less time, but you got to remember, like the system has changed too. There's more stuff coming out of college going into the pros than vice versa, like it used to be, because everything was completely different from college to pro. They weren't running any of these offenses or any of these systems, and now they're doing a lot. They're taking a lot of stuff from college and developing it and structuring it into pros. So it does make it easier on the quarterback. Mm-hmm. It's 100%. It could go, you could flip flop this either way all night long. It's good for the league though that these guys are coming in there. I rode Jaden Daniels. I had him all season long, and he brought me to the championship game. I'm just saying, I literally had him on my team all year. So
yeah, same. I had him in one of my leagues. Yeah,
and you got to think. Like 10 years ago, nobody would have touched a quarterback who's 25 years old in the NFL draft. Now you've got Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and Jaden Daniels that were all 24 or older. And I think Dustin's right with the transfer portal. Guys are playing 5 seasons in college. Yeah. Like Bill Parcells has always preached to every new up and coming GM or head coach, you draft the guy that's played the most football.
Yep.
I remember when they drafted Trubisky, he chimed in and said, like, I don't touch a guy who hasn't played 32 games in college.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Tyson Bagent has listen. I'll pause for a second for laughs. Okay. Are we done? Okay, so Tyson Bagent he's piqued a lot of our interest as fans for his performances in the last couple of years, albeit preseason games or filling in for Justin, winning 2 out of 4. He was an undrafted free agent, so that means he has a 3-year contract. This is his final season. So what do you guys think, shifting gears, about trading Tyson Bagent to a team that he can compete with to become the starting quarterback? And meanwhile, we don't lose a player, we gain a pick from that, albeit a fourth or a fifth, whatever, a third, whatever you want to call it. That Tyson Bagent can. I think that we almost should have played him more in whatever fashion, like at the end of the season when none of it mattered, just to like build a stock. They didn't do that, but whatever. His stock, I think, is still in the unknown. And so if he can go onto a team and compete to be QB1, wouldn't it benefit us right now as a, thinking long term, to trade that pick, because he's not going to come back to us as a backup, guys. He's going to want a chance to be to compete as a starter for another team. So 1 year left on his deal, we lose him for nothing, or trade him now and we get something, no matter what it is. How do you guys feel about that? Go ahead, Foster, around the board.
You could trade him now. I mean, the smart thing to do, even with bringing in an experienced veteran backup to hang with Justin, somebody who's been around the game for
exactly. It'd be better, yeah.
So why not? Why doesn't Poles get on the phone right now and maybe even just check into things? Maybe even call Cleveland and see if they're willing to work out a deal for Garrett. I'm just throwing this off the cuff completely, man. You got to explore the opportunity, all the options on it. I mean, at least I would. It doesn't hurt to ask questions. All you're gonna do is get answers, man. They might not be the ones you want.
Yeah. You like transferred right into like a Bagent thing I want to, or a Myles Garrett thing I want to get into. But yeah, go ahead, Brandon. And whenever you're done, Foster, you done?
No, you're good, man. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm not a big lover of Tyson Bagent. I think his arm is kind of lackluster. I also believe if you were going to try to trade him, you would have done so when Luke Getsy was running the Raiders offense and they had no quarterback to play with. And then I do got to say this, Shorty. I think his drafts or his trade stock will always be at its highest if you don't allow this kid to play. If he was playing at the end of last year, I firmly believe he would have done nothing but taint his trade value, because I don't think he's a super talented guy. I think he plays well within the system. He obviously does a good job at avoiding mistakes. But if you need to win on the shoulder of Tyson Bagent, I don't see that ever working out for anyone.
Excellent point. Dustin, before we get to you, Vernon Rosen just became a new YouTube member of BCP. Thank you, Vernon. We appreciate
no super chats?
What, no super chats from you guys?
I don't want to go into a long story because it's too long for the show. This show is too valuable to talk about concrete. But
go ahead, Dustin.
I'm kind of in the camp with Brandon, man. Like when Bagent played last year, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think he's got a very strong arm. I don't think he's very talented as a thrower. I liked his story, an undrafted free agent that comes in and he's got moxie and like he'll do whatever it takes to try to move the ball. But I just think he's limited in terms of talent. If you try to trade him, I don't, like you said, if anything, I don't know how much you're going to get for him, to be quite honest. It's like, can you get a 6th-round pick for a Tyson Bagent? Can you get
about what I was going to say, dude.
Yeah, right. Like, so it's like, is that worth it, or do you just re-sign him to a cheap backup quarterback deal? Because I think that's what Tyson Bagent is. He's a game-managing backup quarterback that he seems smart enough to pick up the offenses. He seemed to run the offense well when he was on the field for the Bears last year in terms of just managing the game, which is kind of what you want out of a backup quarterback. So, I mean, he might fit the mold of just a solid backup quarterback for his career in the NFL. And I guess you could do worse for your backup position. But I kind of agree with Foster, too. A veteran backup quarterback would be a nice thing to pair with Caleb Williams, So,
but to piggyback off that, do you think he would stay to be a backup?
I think he probably has an ego based on just seeing his dad. Talk. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, but I don't know that would be rooted in reality. I mean, Tyson Bagent might be delusional. That would make sense, but like he ain't gonna go somewhere and start, man. I'd be shocked about that. I guess he could beat out Aiden O'Connell in Vegas, which is what people are talking about. But who knows, man? I don't know. If it's nothing or something, I'll take something for Bajan, I guess.
That's my point.
The thing about Bajan is he's done exactly what we talked about. The guy started for 7 years in a row between high school and college.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of games he's played is just that's his strength. That's why he would be a good game manager. I just don't think it's going to end up being with the Bears. So to get a 6th round pick because let's see, I think there was a guy by the name of Brady drafted in 6th rounds once. You might as well take the dart. You might as well take the dart now instead of walking away with nothing. I mean, that's my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. Maybe not what they're going to do, but that's just my thought.
No, absolutely. You never want to just watch a guy walk away. If there's other teams that hold value over him.
Oh, and we've done a lot of that. I don't know how many times Pace has just let guys walk. Think about it. We've done way too much of letting guys walk. Look at the guys out there playing that were on this team right now.
Yeah, or selling low on guys or holding on to guys too long and decreasing the value that you get back from them. So, I mean, like you don't want to be behind these things. You want to be in front of these things for sure.
Listen, you guys have been amazing. I love you guys as guests. I would love to have you guys back on again, like ASAP.
Shorty. Aw.
No, you guys have a show tonight too, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
I have to do all this while I download this for audio stream, and I can watch you guys.
Absolutely. We love when you join us.
I don't want to keep you guys any longer because we do have to go to bed ourselves. But I want to say first off, just obviously, our condolences to the McCaskey Halas family for their loss, the Bears organization for their loss, the fans for our loss. No matter how you think about Virginia, she was a legend in our sport. So thank you for all that you did for the game, Virginia. And as far as you guys, I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight, having a fucking great conversation with us because we do this because of the fans and everyone in chat, and you guys have blown this shit up tonight, and you guys are the reason why we do this. And before we let you guys go, I just want to thank all of our chat members, Dr. Truth, Cliff Victoria, Chad Spieger, Mr. Mayhem, The Scrolls, Chris Foster, Vernon Roseman, Atmos. You guys are absolutely amazing.
Patty and Armando.
Armando Lara Jr., Patty Lara, The Scrolls. You are the reason why we guys do this. I mean, seriously. There's so many weeks.
We got the same 30, 50 people or more
every time, yeah. And you guys are the reason why we do this.
For not just weeks or months. It's been for years. So we're fortunate. We've got so loyal.
Alex is my name.
You could sit here and just forget our show, man. Just go and read our chat. That's another show in itself. If you go and you read through all of it.
That's the one thing I've noticed watching you guys' show. I mean, it's just like the community y'all have. It feels strong. Like it feels like there's a connection. Like they know y'all. You guys know them. Like that comes across during the show. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely something we're trying to get to in terms of the content we're putting out. And listen, you said so many nice things about us, Shorty. You and Foster have been great tonight. I knew we were going to have an easy conversation just from watching you guys' stuff. Just shooting the shit. I knew it was going to go smooth because, you guys are of the same ilk. So thank you guys for, having us on and letting us open our dumb mouths for any period of time and just talk some shit. It's been a lot of fun, man.
Much appreciated that you guys were able to come on and hang out with us, man.
Yeah, we'd love to be back too.
You just got a new subscriber. Oh man. Every week I look forward to O'Toole hopping in, and he hops in as we're about to close this show. God damn it, O'Toole. So for you guys that don't know, Dustin, Brandon, O'Toole is our he's an amazing football-minded Lions fan who subscribed to us. He appreciates us. We appreciate him. We have good things to say about their team. He does about ours. It's all in love and nothing but love for our own division. O'Toole, I am sorry that we're about to end this show. You're awesome. I wish you were here earlier. We would love to talk to you even more. But please make sure that you guys, everyone here in chat, you already got a new subscriber in Chad Speaker.
Thanks, Chad. We love you, man. Come join us in 30 minutes.
Yeah, they'll be going live right after us. Go hop on after them if you guys are still awake.
I'll be over there. I'll be laying in bed listening to you guys, man. I'll
me too.
Some comments for you
on my phone. I will drop my phone on my chest, falling asleep, watching you guys.
That's what we do to most people.
That happens pretty quick.
Same here. I get it.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been a pleasure, for real. Blast. We'll definitely have you guys over on Bare Minimum too, for sure. So keep your
we'd
eyes
love
open
to have
for
you
that,
guys.
chat.
We would love to join you. Thank you. Anytime, just let us know. We'll join you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. All you guys in chat have been spectacular, as usual. We love and appreciate you guys. And for the 1.5 million time, this is why we do this. It's because of you. So thank you guys. Go check out the 4 Stars Chicago podcast on your way out of here because they're going live soon. Guys, we always end this show on a 1, 2, 3 Bears. So give us your best on that. A 1, a 2, a 3.
Bears.